You made it 60 days, no calls, no texting, nothing. But the worst part isn't that you miss them. The worst part is not knowing if they miss you. Now, you're probably thinking, if they missed me, they would have reached out by now. But here's what happens if you've gone 60 days of no contact and your avoidant ex hasn't reached out to you yet. You're probably sitting there thinking, should I text them? Are they thinking about me, or is it hopeless because they've already moved on? So here's the honest answer. Staying in no contact for 60 days can create the conditions for your avoidant ex to feel that loss, to really start to miss this connection you share, and notice that sense of regret starting to grow stronger. But 60 days of no contact won't absolutely make them come back to you. Now, that's because their desire to reconnect has to become stronger than their fear of vulnerability. A lot of people treat no contact like a marathon. Cross the 60-day mark and it's over. Your ex misses you and comes back. But that is not how it works for everyone. Your relationship might be different. That's why I always tell you to watch their behavior, not how much time has passed. But of course, how do you watch their behavior if you're truly doing no contact? Well, the only behavior you need to pay attention to is this. Have they reached out or have they stayed silent? Now, the difficult thing about an avoidant is this. The one who has yet to start feeling the pain of losing someone, the avoidant who can feel the loss but won't say it, and the one who has actually moved on and left you behind will all look the same to you. So, this is the piece hidden behind the curtain. And that's why I'm going to tell you what actually tends to happen if they do or if they don't reach out after 60 days of no contact. Because once you understand that, you'll find your next move becomes effortless. Now, in the video I did about 30 days of no contact, you learned about the 3 most common outcomes with an avoidant ex. And if you're part of that group who is still waiting on their avoidant to reach out in a meaningful way, then naturally the fear that they've moved on and replaced you is starting to grow stronger. So let me explain exactly what's happening. Across a lot of relationships like this, the pattern tends to look very similar. If you haven't heard from them at all in the last 60 days, that doesn't mean they've forgotten you, but it doesn't mean they're on the verge of coming back either. Now, this might be hard for you to hear, but it really matters. If they haven't reached out to you in 60 days, there are only 2 reasons: detachment or deactivation. If it's detachment, then they're starting to let go. They're not reaching out because they don't feel that strong emotional pull that connects you. Now, if it's deactivation, they do feel that strong emotional pull drawing you together, but they're not ready to act on it yet. Let me walk through what this usually looks like because it tends to follow a pretty consistent pattern. The first thing that usually happens after a breakup is that they get quiet and stay busy. Work, hobbies, social life, anything that helps them stop thinking about the relationship and those uncomfortable emotions. This allows them to shift into a feeling of safety, notice a sense of relief, and think, okay, I'm fine now. Maybe things are even better. Now, that can take 30, 40, 60 days, maybe even longer. And from where you're sitting, it probably feels like confirmation that you never mattered to them at all. But research on avoidant attachment shows that they actively redirect their attention away from the relationship. until they notice the tension and anxiety starting to fade. Now, distractions like that take a lot of energy, so it's not sustainable. Somewhere along the way, thoughts of you are going to start coming up. A memory, a song, a place you used to go together, and at this point, they may think about reaching out, but then not do it. And the reason they're not reaching out yet is because they're not sure what they would say or where it would go. Those thoughts and feelings are going to come and go, and you will never really know about it. But often, after that's happened enough times, they will reach out to you, but in an insignificant way. They'll like a reel you share, they'll send a meme or a short, "Hey, how have you been?" text, but rarely do they follow up with anything meaningful after that. And this is where most people make a huge mistake, because after 2 months of silence, a one-line message can feel like everything is about to change. Now, that's understandable, because you're sitting there thinking, "I wish we could just talk things out." But that message probably took them 3 seconds to write, and it's just a way to feel connected again without actually having to fully open up to you. Now, this is why you have to watch their behavior, because what they do after that tells you where they really are emotionally. I want to be clear here, because this is where a lot of people get hurt. A low effort message lets them feel connected to you without taking on any real risk. That kind of message does mean something. It means they are thinking about you. And it can be the beginning of something real, but not on its own. And the reality you need to understand is this: you're ready to talk things out with them, but that message isn't a signal for you to do that yet. And if you break no contact and respond the wrong way, then they are absolutely going to disappear again. Now, let's stay grounded in what's real here, because when it all comes down to it, there's one thing that can steady you, guide you, and make all the difference in how you feel. And that's clearly understanding what their behavior is showing you. So before you can talk things out with them, you want to look for the signs that they are ready. Do they follow up with another message? Do they bring up what happened? Do they acknowledge that they pulled away? Do they have some idea of why they do it? And do they have a plan for when it happens again? If the answer is no, that's okay. You don't have to ignore them. You just have to be honest with yourself about where they are right now and if your love is really worth waiting for. Now, I know that's difficult. Waiting 30 days to talk things out is really hard. Waiting 60 days or more can seem almost impossible. And that's what drives most people to break no contact or reply the wrong way. Obviously, the waiting starts to feel worse than rejection. You think, "I just need to know. I've waited long enough. One message to clear things up won't hurt." And that impulse makes complete sense. But sending that message before they're ready to talk doesn't get you the results you're looking for. What it tends to get you is one of three things: either no response at all, which makes the whole situation start to feel worse, or a polite surface level reply that gives you just enough hope to hold on to, but ultimately causes you to feel empty and alone inside. Or third, and this is the hardest one to recover from, you get a kind, warm reply that really takes you back to the time when everything was good in your relationship, but they never follow up, and you absolutely start to feel more devastated and rejected than before. Now, if you're at that point where the waiting in silence is starting to feel unbearable, not just difficult, but too much to deal with, then you're not alone. This is the moment that breaks most people because we're desperate for relief. Now, that's why I created the No Contact Safety Kit, for that moment when you just want to talk things out with them, but you know it's too soon. The link is below. Use it before you do something from a place of panic, loneliness, or emotional exhaustion. This is the part where holding your ground matters most. Now, 60 days is a long time to wait. And when you see someone pull away for that long, the pattern tells you something. It tells you that this is what they do when things feel too complicated or overwhelming. Now, it can be interesting to see what really happens after all that time, what changes inside of them when they really start to feel that loss, and how they will respond to that feeling when they really begin to notice your silence. And that's exactly what we'll talk about in the next video, when an avoidant finally feels your silence. You can click on it right now, and I'll see you there.